Good evening, Kakalina. How are you? What's up, DB Mac? How are you? Kakalina and DB Mac. It's so weird that the algorithm, because I know, Aaron, how are you? I know 3 people are in, 3 people have said hi to me, yet there's no likes. Simone, how are you? It is so weird. YouTube's really doing some dirty stuff to me. What's going on, DC? How are you tonight? Ah. Nice. Glenn, how are you tonight? What's up, Troy? Mr. Anderson, how are you? Hey, Janie. Nicola, what's going on, brother? Richard Carr, how are you? Oh, yeah, baby. Start the live stream off with a dirty, dirty burp. What's going on, Rockin' Steady? How are you? Tyler Steven, Herman, how are you? What's up, Snow? How about that interview with Jimmy Petanito, huh? That was fucking awesome. Jeannie, Vicky Parker, Brady Boone. How are you, Brady Boone? Oh. Shari Strong, Fire Horse. I'm a little tired myself. What's up, Dis? I know it's been a long week. It's been a long week. I can't believe it was freaking Monday that I interviewed Jane, and it seems like it was just like the other day. You know, so weird. What's up, Moondog? How are you, Justin Russell? How are you? So I got a stack of really good encounters for tonight. Under the weather, Jane's under the web surfer. How are you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So what's up, Tommy? Frank. So web surfer. I've always said that. I don't buy into the whole interview with a vampire, let me bite your neck vampire thing. I believe 100% there are energy vampires, like inorganic beings, just things that feed off of your inner being, your soul, what have you. What's up, Weston? How are you? Yeah, I think everybody's had. I had a wife like that. Yep. Nicholas Carroll. What's up, Pops? How are you? The pork whistle. Donna, Sandra, how are you guys? Just got back from vacation. Ooh, I wouldn't know what a vacation is. What's going on, High Strangeness? How are you? Delirium. What up? Sonya might not be here tonight. All right. That sucks. She's without power. I fucking hate that when that happens. take my watch off and get ready for this. I know. I had a husband like that. I had my ex-wife's name tattooed right here in her like inner freaking writing, and I just put a line through it. Hey Marge, how are you? What's up, Corey Cole? How you doing this evening? You spelled his name wrong though. Shari Strong. It's right in front of you too. No, I'm just teasing you. What's going on, Nick Hendricks? Jennifer Eubank, how are you? Paula? Dave Thompson? Doing well, Rockin'. I'm doing well. Joseph Cannon, how are you? Simon? Well, I have two daughters. One's 19 and one's 16 that I've raised by myself for the last 8 years, 7 years. Yep. So, yeah, I've been divorced. Seen it, done it. Don't ever want to do it again. Ryan Mack, how are you tonight? Just got back from the Brad Paisley concert. Good stuff. Good stuff. Won $500 as well. Yeah, it was a long week. So I read this, or I watched this interesting video, thanks to Pups, and made a lot of sense. So the hair, a person's hair, it's a scientific study. A person's hair is kind of like your antenna. And apparently, during the Vietnam War, the U.S. Army went out and they found some really expert Native American trackers, right? And they buzzed their hair. Now, these guys were amazing trackers prior to getting the Army buzz cut, and they lost their skills at that point. So, like, this scientific study thing states that if you keep your hair longer, that you will have more kind of like just be more awareness of your outer world. Very interesting. Oh, of course I remember Eddie from Iron Maiden. I didn't get an email from you, Rockin' Steady. G.I. Joe, what's going on? That was my favorite comic book and favorite cartoon when I was a kid. I guarantee everybody fucking loved G.I. Joe. Well, that was into G.I. Joe. And probably every little boy's favorite G.I. Joe character was Snake Eyes. Yeah, you did, Charles. I'm glad you're here with us. Charles Whitmore. Ninja Turtles was more my era. G.I. Joe was like, G.I. Joe's been a timeless American tradition, though. Since like my dad was a little kid. My dad had the big action figure that was like this big. I had G.I. Joe Lunchbox. I still have some of my old comic books. There was never a G.I. Joe, though. He was just, well, he was, but he was only like that big. He was that big. But I don't think he was he named G.I. Joe? Not when I was a kid, because it was Duke was like the main guy. Flint, the admiral from the USS Flag. No, you have not, Corey. Nope. Yeah, it was a great time. X-Taz, is there a legit video or clear photo caught by Dogman? Caught of Dogman? No. And I really think that the article that I shared Tuesday about that Harvard study really emphasized why. Because they are capable of going in and out of different dimensions. And I've said it for a while. I've been saying it for a while. And it would make sense that, how are you going to get a photo of something that can cross dimensions, that has some sort of magnetic or geometric, whatever kind of power, not magic, but something that coincides with the earth. Thanks, Pops. Still watch it with the kids. Soon I'll gift you a pup to take with you. I would love to get a puppy, Dogman Bullies, but honestly, I just can't because I've got Tigger, and Tigger will not allow that to happen. I'm going to honestly have to wait until my buddy eventually meets the big man in the sky before I get a dog. What's up, William Menendez? How are you? Mendez. George Coker. Nick Hendricks. Life and Times. Tigger is a dink. He doesn't like to share my love. Hey, Lake, how are you? So, Husky. Huskies are cool dogs. I like Huskies. I really want a Weinreimer. I love those dogs. What's up, John? How are you? Crypt Keeper. No, dogs don't drool. Dogs are a whole different, dogs are werewolf cats are interesting. The werewolf cat is a very interesting cat. It kind of looks like a werewolf, but it's kind of dumb, if you ask me. I wouldn't want to pay they're $2,700 for a cat that looks like it has a disability. Not that there's anything wrong with having a disability. If anybody has a disability, I didn't mean that in a negative way. But I don't want a cat that I spent $2,700 on that looks like a hairball that my cat Tigger threw up. They are absolutely hideous. And that's hard for me to say because I love cats. Glad to see you, GRP. Oh, Shiba Inu. Solo dog. I don't know what that Zolo dog. What's a Zolo dog? I have to look that up now. You got me questioning. Zolo. Oh, it's a hairless dog. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking burping up goodness stuff everywhere. Got a little bit on my t-shirt. How's it going, known back home? What's going on, John Ohm? How are you? James Kaufman? Dude, so when I went kayaking, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I had that bandana on, and I have this white strip just right here. My arms are a little tanner. It was so nice. I had such a great time kayaking. I am too. Thank you, Known Back. I appreciate that. I'm doing well. I know, DC, it literally looks like my cat threw it up. Do Dogman talk? Supposedly not. Supposedly werewolves do. That's just from what Victor said. Email you my fairy encounter. Sounds good, Weston. Sounds good. So we'll start this night off with a proper. I come from this very remote country, the Solomon Islands. I lived there as a child, but have moved since to Australia. For generations, giants have been part of the stories. From the giants that disrupted villages to the ones that would kill people at night to eat them. 5 years ago, when I went back, I was talking with a spiritual elder. They believe our ancestors gave him gifts that connect to the supernatural side. And he told me of a more recent story. Apparently, a family from another village had contacted him about their daughter missing to see if there was something supernatural. Now, our spiritual man investigated, he didn't tell me how, and came to the conclusion that a giant had taken her. He asked the village if they had a giant population, and they verified that they lived in a cave not too far away. So he goes to investigate the nearby cave. From the outside, it looked completely normal. He said, and then when he went inside, nothing looked unusual. But before giving up on the lead, he decided to try a blood sacrifice, killing a living thing to use its life force, a very common practice in our customs, to see if it would trigger something. He rounded up 3 pig and slaughtered them at the front of the cave, pouring their blood out. He said he waited a bit and decided to go in, and sure enough, when he went inside the cave, it had changed completely, and there were stairs leading down. The gentleman went down into the stairs deeper into the cave. He said the plants he saw in the cave were unlike anything he had ever seen before. He mentioned them glowing in the dark, and there was one of the most beautiful things he had ever seen. He eventually went further and further down, and sure enough, there was a giant on a throne. The giant thanked him for the sacrifice and asked what he wanted. He mentioned the girl, and the giant knew who he was talking about. He demanded the girl come out, and she appeared. The giant explained that one of his family members had taken a liking to her because she was so beautiful and kidnapped her. So my spiritual healer asked for her to come back, and the giant agrees and lets him take him back. She returned to the village, and that's all for that experience. When I listened to this experience, I thought it was wild, but I also know that giants are so prevalent in our history that maybe there is truth to what was said. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but I thought it was interesting, so I thought I would share. So, the Solomon Islands, there's always been a lore of giants living there. And I think that's really cool because, like, the spiritual healer walks into the cave, walks out of the cave. Nothing is, it's all the same. And then he does a blood sacrifice. And then that magic or whatever, I hate saying that word magic, but that offering opened up that portal or that realm to that other side, to where the giants were. And I really honestly believe that the more I look into this, and especially like with Dulce, the reptilians, Phil Schneider, just all his stuff, Tom Horn, it's kind of hard it's hard to dismiss that there's such thing as portals and that these creatures are using them. And once again, I don't think it's magic. I don't think they cast this spell and they go into it. I think there's just this kind of, they have that that piece of whatever that our brain lost through the progression of our age, the longer we stayed and grew as humans, that we lost something. And with people who are mediums, they still have a little bit of it, but I don't know. Let me check. Corey. I did not get anything. Let me check my spam, Corey. Nope, I didn't get anything, buddy. What's up, Robert Sharp? How are you? I have a hard time. I have a weird time of people have a weird time of emailing me. Gringo, how are you tonight? 179 people, 84 people, 55 likes, 59 likes. Let's get those likes up, guys, please. But anyway, I really truly believe that, and the day that I went up to where Tom Mzik disappeared, and I was just hiking around, and I started talking about like the military and pacts with like Native Americans that lived in my area back in the day. I really think that the military took advantage of what they knew and certain tricks to open portals, like the blood sacrifice. That's interesting because it's just a normal cave, and then bloop, and then he's in. All right, let's jump into a black-eyed kid encounter. Sky Wonderly, how are you this evening? Thank you for joining us. Sandra Overrides, how are you? Randy, what's going on? Has anyone else heard the Border Patrol cars? Dogman calls Dogman DX. Beretta Vandy, I don't know what that means, but did you ever hear the video that I did with the Border Patrol agent that reached out to me? I shared his experience, him and his partner's experience. 2 weeks later, in the news, the Border Patrol agents, 2 of them are dead in the exact location. That was incredible. Incredible. Let me check here really quick. Yes, got it, Corey. Oh, that's interesting. Holy shit. You mind if I post that later in a thing? What's up, Stacy? Alan Howell, how are you? Nicholas, how are you? Aramic, what's going on? Stacy Lockett, Stay Space, Alan Howell, J Dad. I seen a portal yesterday in our pasture. No shit, J Dad. That's crazy. Make sure she is careful. Lake 17, that's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, that channel, what was it, like that fucking lore channel? That guy's a fucking toolbox. Him and his buddy have no idea what they're talking about. There was no escaped convict up there. My uncle was the undersheriff on that case. There was FBI wouldn't even be there if there was an escaped convict. It'd be the state police who are in charge of that. Yeah, they have no idea what they're talking. They're too busy sucking each other off for views. Be careful though, J-Dad, please. Amber, I had a Border Patrol agent reach out to me. He had 3 of his friends, or two of his coworkers that he had grown up with. He is of Mexican descent. They went and shot a Dogman. They were trying to stop people coming over the Rio Grande. They watched a Dogman kill women, children, and men. They shot it. After 2 weeks after he shared the experience with me and I shared it on the channel, he contacted me again, like a day late or 2 weeks later, and said, listen, both of my partners are dead. One died of a heart attack, and then the other died in a drunk driving accident. And sure enough, in the news, in the exact location that he was at, 2 Border Patrol agents died. All right, cool. Thanks, Corey. I will. No, Truth Quest, you are not blocked. I said hi to you and I answered one of your things before. I know, 88 likes. I got 88 likes. It's weird. So, Black-Eyed Kid. Black-Eyed Kid. What's going on, what's going on, Steph? How are you? This happened about a year ago. I was going to work alone. It was 4 a.m, and no one was in the parking lot but me. So I was about to get out of my car and head to the building, but first I bend down to grab my cell phone charger. When I look back up, a teenage girl is on my driver's side window and a small boy on the passenger side. The girl is wearing a tank top and has very pale skin and stringy blonde hair. The little boy had his hair shaved off. She says, "Excuse me, sir, but we need a ride down the block to my mom's house. If we walk, she will be angry." The boy looks emotionless and unblinking. I get this very strange feeling in my stomach saying, "Don't do it." And I say, "I need to go into work, but here's some money for a cab." I shared this already, sorry. She says, "We don't need money. We need a ride." I blink and I look down into my phone as it suddenly rang and hung up. The kid's eyes were black as night. My heart pounded. I think, crap, these kids are the ones people are talking about that kill people. So I say with authority, "No, take the money and go." As I reach for some ones in the ashtray and look up and the kids were gone. The parking lot's huge. I would have seen them run off. I even drove around the parking lot and the building and no kids. The block, I even drove around the block and no one was there. No one ever lived on that block, actually. There was not a house there. I waited until the sun came up till I went into work that day. Yeah, dude, I know that, Nicola. It's weird that they mention their parents or mom and stuff. Katrina Russell, there's your shout out. Just kidding. Thanks for joining us, Katrina. What's up, 30 Rack? But yeah, it's weird how they ask for their parents or they talk about their parents. I've never heard them say anything about a dad though. It's always their mom, God damn. Like 6 months ago, I did that Black-Eyed Kids experience and it was probably the freakiest fucking experience I ever did. This mom and her 3 kids moved to this location, and their 3 kids had friends that lived down the road. The mom was friends with the kid's mom and shit. And these Black-Eyed Kids came into their yard and ended up convincing the kid that didn't live in that house to go with them. And he went like behind the fence or through this like kind of hole in the fence and disappeared. They never found him. It was the craziest experience I ever heard. Yeah, where is Caden? Miss Tika Palmer Skinner, how are you? What's up, Kirk? Captain Kirk and Randy Mann. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I said, lore or whatever. Yeah, that's a bunch of horse shit. There was no escaped convict. Once again, it's one of those channels. I have 400, 500,000 subscribers. Listen to me and take me at my word. When they didn't even do their fucking research, because if they did, they'd know that there hadn't been an escaped convict in the Adirondacks since two escaped back in like the early 2000s. There was correctional officers outside helping look for Tom. But yeah, there's not even a fucking prison in that area, to be honest with you. Jay Cortez, what's going on? Cop car is right down the road. Actually, it's crazy because what's up, Daryl? Me and Belle were coming home and Belle noticed the cop car and she goes, "Holy shit, Daddy, it is every Saturday. It's every Saturday." Shit. So every Saturday, and he's parked. I can't see him. He's parked down the ways a Bennett. Give me 1 second. 2 seconds. Back. But I think it's getting to be that time, don't you? I think it's at DB Mac. What time is it? It is about that time, isn't it? Jesse Good. It is. It is. I did start at midnight. Do something. What time is it, y'all? It's $20. It's $20 time. $20 is $20. Oh. That was a good one. That was good one. I have an amazing Black-Eyed Kids encounter today in this pile. A Philippines Black-Eyed Kids experience. I've never fucking heard one like that. All right. I used to go camping at Lake Pentwell, Adams County, Wisconsin, campground every year. One year, at around 1988, my younger sister, two cousins, and I went for a walk after dark, maybe 10 p.m. We were young. My cousins and I were 9 years old, and the other two were roughly 8. There were some dirt walking trails in the woods around the campground. It was near the lake, and two trails intersected with a little clearing, maybe 6 foot, on the side of the trails. We could see a pontoon boat filled with people. Our young, dumb selves figured they were a search party looking for someone, maybe even us, because we weren't supposed to be away from camp this late. I now know that it was just people having a good time on their pontoon boat. As we are watching them, looking down the path going toward the lake, staying out of sight, a light orb came through the woods right at us. We were frozen in place. It was bigger than a softball, but smaller than a basketball. It came in, circling us twice, probably 8 feet off the ground, and left. The whole thing was maybe 10 seconds long. I can remember it so vividly, like it happened yesterday. This is also in that same location. I have a place in Adams County, Wisconsin, Lake Pentwell. It is a campsite of 5 acres. I was partying out there with 3 people at around midnight 2 years ago. We had the stereo cranked up when something started to grunt and growl louder than the radio, just out of sight behind a 35-foot camper. It repeated the sound 3 times. I was ready to run for my life. I get to the stereo and turn it off, but didn't hear a thing after that. I had my spotlight, but couldn't see or hear anything move away either. It sounded similar to an extremely loud bullhorn snort mixed with a deep growl, similar to those werewolf sounds in the movies. It was so loud that even the people in the camper heard it. Just before this happened, the whippoorwills were going nuts. We no longer walk alone on the trails at night, only riding golf carts or STVs on the trails after dark. Then last year, we had another incident. Dark Waters, thank you so much, brother. We went out for a cart ride and heard a loud bark. I thought it was the neighbor's dog, but no, it was a white wolf. It seemed aggressive with no fear and was circling the camper with one other dog. I've hunted at night and lived here all my life and never heard anything like this. It's changed all of our lives. There's definitely something unexplained up here. Thanks, James. I appreciate you. What's up, Jersey Nightcat? How are you? James pops in and pops out. He's probably already popped out already. He pops in quick, gives us the love, and then pops back out. What's going on, OJ? OG? I almost called you OJ. What's going on, Will? How are you? Lots of balls of light in Wisconsin woods. No shit. Yeah. There's a definite connection. Ronald Murphy Jr., I shared his experience before on the channel. I really want to get him on here, but he's kind of stopped researching. He still researches, but not as much. What's up, Charlie Knight? He had a Dogman encounter and all of a sudden saw these balls of light, and he thinks that these orbs saved his life that night. Miss Vermont Tarot, how are you? IE Native. Yeah, Dark Waters. He's like the dude that comes to your party, that pops in and says hi to everybody and then bounces. He's so fucking awesome. I love him. I'm so blessed. I met a few people that are YouTube creators, and to be honest, I think he is the most influential person that is a YouTuber that I've ever met. Like, he's helped me through so much. He's a true friend and a true person. Like, just an amazing soul. His fucking heart is 10 times bigger than his body. What's up, Brittany Brown? How are you? Could be, Chris Berry. Could be. I'm bow fishing at the LBL. My family is doing well. I hope yours and you are doing well too. Celebrity ghost stories. All right. This is a good one. This is a good one for all you fellas and girls out there. My cousin used to live in northern Alabama. and his family had a polo field about 25 miles from the Tennessee state line. He had told me a couple times back when I lived on the property that he had seen a figure on his property outside of his windows, out in the field. Stuff like that, but these were stories late at night on the Xbox, and I never really put too much thought into them. Fast forward to my trip, I went to visit him in 2010. We were out camping in the polo field. It was a cool August evening. The full moon was out. We set up our tent and started a little fire right in the middle of the field. We had made food and were just talking, listening to music when we started to get some strong cold and hot winds. The area was known for tornadoes, so we decided to pack up and leave. We had gotten most of the stuff back into the car and decided to lay back on top of one of the hay bales and just look up at the night sky. I hadn't seen a full night sky after moving to the city with all the high light pollution. After a couple of minutes, my cousin tells me everything is packed and we're ready to go. So I hopped up and looked across the field, and at the edge of the field, at the fence line, maybe 100 yards away, is when I saw it. The human-like silhouette was standing right at the fence, looking right in our direction. I knew the fences were about 4 feet tall, and they are sitting above its waistline, so it appeared to be 6, maybe 7 feet tall. It looked human, but something just seemed off. Its limbs were thin. Its eyes were reflective, like that of an animal. I couldn't make out a lot of its facial features, but it just seemed flat, grayish pale. The best way I could describe it was the mix between an emaciated human and the vampire creatures from I Am Legend. Great movie. I quickly hopped down and told my cousin to leave and explained what I had seen when we got back to his parents. From what I described to him, it matched exactly what he had seen years before as a kid. There are a few experiences from other friends seeing it around those woods a couple years afterward when they camped out, but no one still really has an explanation of what it could be or what it is. We've looked in the area, and there was an old asylum abandoned in the late 80s, early 90s, but given the span around 15 years, it was seen. We don't think it could be some weirdo just living out there. Sounds to me like there is some sort of crawler-like creature in Alabama, South Tennessee area. What's up, Sully? How are you? Squatching Grandma, how are you? Yeah, I think this week is supposed to be weather-wise. I think I'm going to go up to, what's up, Adam Condon? How are you, buddy? I think I'm going to take a trip up north and hang out for a little bit. Let's see what the weather is going to be like. 83 Sunday, today. Monday, 76, cloudy. 82 Tuesday. Wednesday, 82 and overcast. That's going to be a perfect day. I think Wednesday I'll go up to where Tom Mzik disappeared and spend the day up there. I wish I could live stream from up there, but I fucking can't. Night Vision, what's going on? Camping in Maine tomorrow night. What part, Night Vision? Do you notice, to be honest, Brittany, the day that I saw that thing and caught, like, I have it all on video. So the day I caught that thing that ran down the mountain onto the trail and booked down, it was kind of sunny. It was actually sunny and warm. The day that whatever that was that smashed through the trees that I was sitting on the rocks was sunny and warm. The metallic noise was cold and outcast and spitting snow. Uh, the day I caught that weird sound back, it was the day of the eclipse. So it really doesn't matter, to be honest with you. Near Palmyra. All right. Um, I don't know. I've often wondered that myself. I think more or less on a hot day, like when the humidity's spiking, I don't think they're going to be active. Like personally, my own belief is I don't think activity is really a thing for them. Um, I don't know. I thought about going up there at night again, but I don't know. It takes so fucking long to drive up there just to spend like 10, 15 minutes outside of the car. Cause like literally I don't like being up there at night. It's really not a good place. It's that place is so evil. Like, um, the initial video that I ever did was when I interviewed the supervisor of the town. I interviewed the fire chief and his wife. And I interviewed those people because the firehouse was the main kind of spot for all of the search and rescue people. So I wanted to see what was going on. My uncle, a few other people. And the lady who owns the one store in Brant Lake she told me about this experience. So where the trail intersects, there's two trails and they go like this, kind of one goes straight up and one goes off to the side and loops. She was on the one that looped on Lily Pond Trail, it's called. It's off of Lily Pond Road. And she said her husband and her two kids were just walking, just for a little walk. Um, this would be like maybe 15 years ago, before Tom Mzik disappeared, like a couple years before he disappeared. And she saw a guy off to the side, and he was in black. He was all in black. And he was walking, and he crossed over the trail and went into the woods. And her kids saw it, her husband saw it, they all saw it. But she noticed that his walking, it was almost like he was like a half an inch off the ground, because it wasn't like he was walking, but his legs were moving, but not touching the ground. It was really a weird, and she's never gone up there since. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go up there maybe on Wednesday. Yes, William. Victor was in a search team he hunted dogmen. That's a true story. That's not a creepypasta. So yes, there are people that have killed them. There's regular humans that have killed them, like people like me, people like you. When I go up there, I bring my Caltech KS7. No Frogtown promotions. Nope. I do too. Yes, MJ Bates, he is out there. Parked a little down though. We need bigger guns. Yeah. um A few years ago, I met a fascinating guy who eventually became a good friend. Let's call him Chris to protect his identity. We both have military background, so we spoke about some of our exploits in the past lives. He had unexpectedly a haunting experience to share. This took place at an undisclosed military base located in a damp jungle on a remote island. Chris says he remembers the wilderness being unnervingly quiet for at least a week leading up to the incident. The personnel stationed there chalked the silence up to the change in seasons or something like that. There had been reports of bizarre sightings. Jersey Cat, thank you so much, dear. Um, Sorry, hang on. This took place at an undisclosed military base located in the damp jungle on a remote island. Chris says he remembers the wilderness being unnervingly quiet for at least a week leading up to the incident. The personnel stationed there chalked the silence up to the change in seasons or something like that. There had been reports of bizarre sightings, fast-moving animals no one could explain. Anyone who mentioned them was typically shut down with ridicule by the fellow soldiers. The sightings were notably inconsistent with one another. Some saw large eyes, others saw small ones. Some heard big things trudging boisterously through the woods. Others heard sounds of something small and light sneaking through the brush. No one had seen anything worth defending with the inevitable argument, let alone losing their reputation. Chris heard every report due to the fact that he was a desk sergeant at the time. Anyone who saw or heard something off, which could potentially impact the security of the base, would typically come to him and have it notated in the log. He never took the more fantastical reports seriously enough to actually write those down, unbeknownst to the concerned soldiers who came to him. Some of them just came to talk about what happened off the record. Anyway, this would typically end up with them just trading ghost stories. On the night in question, Chris and his team were on the far side of the island, a completely uninhabited area. There was no human presence that could be found with hundreds of miles in every direction. For that reason, the military chose the location for storing their weapons and explosives. Chris and a partner, let's call him Barry, were conducting nightly checks on the magazine storage areas, which lay several miles deep into an uninhabited zone. The jungle was still weirdly quiet, but it was good for them, being that their mission was to detect foreign intelligence or operatives tampering with U.S. equipment, or the occasional refugee group that was washed ashore. They were on the road that rested in a valley of two mountains, bordered by two gigantic hills, thick and rocky with tall grass. As they drove along slowly with their Humvee windows down, they heard a heavy thud coming from the woods. A totally unexpected, unnatural sound emanated from this tangled growth. The first thud drew their attention, but was quickly followed by other noises. Barry shut off the headlights and shut the engine off so they could sneak up on whoever was out there. They knew anyone attempting to navigate the dense vegetation would do so carefully, taking time to avoid injury. But surprisingly, they could hear fast-paced walking rustling through the tall grass. After a few moments, the sound began to move parallel to the road. They restarted their vehicle and started a pursuit. The walking continued for a while as they followed it with only their running lights on before suddenly stopping. They at first thought they had lost track of whatever or whoever it was, so they turned their headlights back on, assuming it was just a deer or something, and continued a distance down the road. As Barry proceeded to turn the high beams on, both men noticed something in the distance, approximately 30 yards ahead. A humanoid creature jumped onto the road and then into the brush on the other side. It was grayish, over 2 meters tall, with a small ovular head. Its movements were too swift for its size. The best way he could describe its leaping motion was like that of an impossibly nimble frog. Seeing the creature instantly gave Chris the feeling of being punched in his gut. His heart sank so rapidly and the adrenaline kicked in so fast that he began to feel nauseous, on the verge of vomiting. He laments the fact that neither of them had the will to chase after the creature, but that the feeling of being at such a disadvantage was absolutely petrifying. The idea that they were being stalked was raising a question. Were they hunting or being hunted themselves? Whatever it was, the creature definitely had the tactical advantage, position, and mobility. Chris and Barry turned their truck around and sped off back to base. The woods remained silent for at least another week, returning to normal, droning sounds of the wildlife afterward. What's up, James? What's going on, brother? Thanks for popping in. Truth Quest, what did you want me to read again, brother or sister? Puma Pete, what's going on, buddy? Hey, I'll give you a holler tomorrow, all right, James? I got to talk to you about something. I picked up a book that I will be sitting down with you on Wednesday with. Wednesday night. I won't be able to go to both, but I'm going to do one a week with you. I bought a brand new one. I got it this week. I went to after I interviewed Jimmy Patanito. I went to the I don't know, what is it called, a Catholic store or Christian store? Catholic store? I don't know, but I got a new Bible. It's pretty awesome too. What's up, Silver Charmer? How are you? Thanks for joining us. Well, after I interviewed Jimmy Patanito, James, you got to check that video out if you hadn't. He knew Father Malachi Martin, the Jesuit priest who was killed after an exorcism. And I didn't have a Bible. I had just like the New Testament, the little one that's like this big, whatever. And it freaked me out so bad doing that interview with him that I was like, I need to go and get a Bible and just, instead of the little Testament thingy that I have, I was like, just get this done. Mr. Billy Blue, I don't watch other channels. The only channel I watch that's similar to mine is Dark Waters, is because of support to him. I don't watch other channels. It's, to me, I research all day long and all night long. So I don't like listening to other people talk and mumble along. What's up, Chris? How are you? Yes, rockin' steady. I am the biggest Pootie Pie. Pootie Pie! Is that how he says it? Pootie Pie! Fan ever. I have a Pootie Pie tattoo over my heart. It says, Pootie Pie! Pam, thank you for joining us. But that interview, if you guys haven't heard that interview with Jim, Mr. Haunted, it's called, he worked with the Warrens. He was a photographer and videographer for Ed and Lorraine Warren. He knew Father Malachi Martin personally. He was in Hostages of the Devil, that movie. They interviewed him. But I mean, I've spoken to Jimmy like 100 times. And he has never shared with me any of his experiences. Like, he knows about my conjuring video when I caught the crooked neck lady on my SLS camera and stuff like that. But what he shared in that video and afterward, just with me personally, I was like, holy shit. And just a mind blower. I thought it'd get more views, but it didn't for some reason. I don't know. People like creepy pastas better, I'm starting to realize. Did I get your email? I do believe I did, two-way. I do believe I did. I don't know what that is, Jane. I didn't even see it. Where is that? Hang on, I got to check something, guys. That's not cool. Wow, that's weird. That's AI listening. YouTube has AI listening to all our channels. Uploaded the new Brad info yet? No, I have not, Jay Mathers. We were supposed to connect Friday, but he was still doing stuff, and I'll probably end up running into him probably Monday. Well, I'm going to tell you what it said, and I don't know. Jane caught it because you guys were talking. A few of you guys were talking about things that go in the boomstick, the rounds that go in boomsticks. Don't say it. It popped up and said this weird. This is a live chat from a group of survivalists preparing for the apocalypse. They are discussing different types of ammunition, survival strategies, and staying connected with each other. That's what AI said. Can you freaking imagine that? So just be careful with what you guys type. Holy shit. Yeah. We are survivalists. We're talking about Dogman and crawlers in the Bible and Jimmy Petnito, Dark Waters. And now we're survivalists, guys, because, well, I don't know. Because we want to live. Firehorse, it goes into the YouTube algorithm. That's where it goes. It goes right back into, it's AI generated by YouTube. They collect all that information and then it goes into that. No, I didn't just realize that, Johnny Ohm. It was a joke. That's so cool, though. What's up, Laughing Wolf? How are you? I got your experience. I typed that. I just printed it out the other night. Can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me or no? Okay. Because I just read that Pam lost sound. I wanted to make sure. All right. Check this out. Yes, Red Cardinal. I just saw that message. But it's kind of hard to look at all the messages and read experiences, though. But I did see that message, so I am getting it. I want to tell you my experience. It was 2012 when my boyfriend and I started hanging out. It was late at night and we went to a park to chill. I live in the Gulf Stream, the Florida Panhandle to be exact. And our town has a bay, so the park had a dock for people to string up their boats. We were sitting on one of the floating docks chatting when I happened to look across the water to the shore. Something was floating on top of the water. It looked like a styrofoam fishing buoy. I'm not sure what it was, but it was enough to grab my attention. Our conversation lulled. I didn't know at the moment that my boyfriend was also watching. I'm watching this thing pull itself up onto the sand in the light of the street lamp. The closest thing I can describe it to is a person wearing a black morph suit crawling low to the ground on all fours like a horror movie. Its elbows are out and its legs are at odd angles. Anyway, it slithered off into the sawgrass, and my boyfriend and I empathetically confirmed that we both saw the same thing. He, as a skeptic, dragged me over to check the tracks in the sand. There were handprints and fresh splash marks. I'm not kidding. Actually, 5-fingered handprints. We got to the car real fast and got out of there. We both knew a whole lot about the wildlife in our area, and we still couldn't come up with any kind of answer. I'd love to hear theories. I neglected some details. The thing had no snout or tail, which rules out a lot of wildlife. I personally checked for this at the moment and confirmed it with my boyfriend after. It crawled out of the water. This thing went straight into the sawgrass, which extends for literally miles because it's Gulf Island National Seashore. Also, the park is very well lit, and there is a street lamp shining directly onto the shore. This was not a trick of the light or our eyes. I am absolutely sure of it. Tigger is probably laying on the couch. No cap. What's going on, brother? How are you tonight? "60 days till football." Half of it, half the couch. And I have to literally vacuum off the couch every morning. We are getting hit with rain. Actually, all day, Craigers. I'm glad that you're with us, no cap. Yeah, that's definitely something I don't ever want to do, Adam Condon. Yeah, exactly, Sasquatch, Grandma. Sorry, Squatching Grandma. I'm just going to call you Sasquatch Grandma. In a minute, Sully. In a minute. I already did one. What's up, Jeremiah? Peter Parsons. Red Cardinal. Can you type out what you said so I don't have to go through the whole chat and look for it again, please? Call me Sandy. All right, Sandy. I will. So Red Cardinal emailed me and it went to my spam. Is that what you're saying, Tommy? I'm a Dolphin fan, Weston. Been a Dolphin fan my whole life. Since Daddy Don Shula ran the show and his son Dan the Man Marino was with OJ McDuffie back in the day. Oh, Red Cardinal in the Three Sons. Shout out. Sorry, buddy. I always give you shouts out to your three kids. I am so sorry. $75 in Fairbanks, Alaska. Wow. Don't call me late for dinner. Yeah, I don't know. Even though I live in New York, like you'd think the Giants, Jets, or the Patriots or the Bills would be, that would be the four teams that people in upstate love. I love the Dolphins. I don't watch it. I don't really watch football a lot. I mean, I watched it when Don Shula and Dan Marino were running the game. I think the last real football game I watched was when OJ McDuffie was it an interception? I think he did an interception and literally hurdled over a cowboy and went 81 yards down the field. That's the last game I saw. So that was like 20 years ago. I can't watch football. It's just too. I can watch baseball. I can watch the Dodgers play all day and night. Good night, Steph. I'm going to give you a call this week. I got a bunch of calls done. I had no idea my email hasn't gotten kicked back. I have sent to you with all my experiences. For some reason, it doesn't get kicked back, Red Cardinal. It doesn't get kicked back, so like you guys don't know about it, I guess. I just got one from a Kathy. I got Corey. I got Diana Hill. So try again, Red Cardinal. For some reason, it doesn't tell me anything. I don't know. I probably missed a shitload. Wanted to pop. Well, Tyler Marshall, I'm glad you popped in to say hi. Thank you. It was nice seeing you. It's always nice seeing you. And this is for Tyler Marshall. Why? Because $20 is $20. Ah! Here, Red Cardinal. I'll put my email in for you. Hang on one second. All right. It's right under Rock and Steady, giving you my email. Who's Doug? No bagpipes. My dad, Jimmer, is doing good. He's doing good. He got his first haircut. Big Jim got his first haircut in 7.5 months. He looked like a hippie. What's up, Jeff Pat? How are you? So he's doing good. He's 130 pounds now. He's walking like a mile a day. So he uses his rollator, which has to be really humbling for him, because like 8 months ago, the guy was fucking as healthy as a 73-year-old guy can be, but he could pound a 12-pack with any of you. But he walks his rollator and goes around the driveway, and 5 times around the driveway is a mile. So down, across, back, down, across is a mile. And he's fucking amazing. It is. I really here's something that bothers me. And I was talking to Jimmy about this because Jimmy Patanito, um, because of him, knowing Malachi Martin and other priests and such. But I said, it's so weird that for 8 months, 7 months, I prayed for my dad just to get better. And, he did. But then there's those people that pray for their family members to get better and they don't. And it's crazy because, like, it's got to be disheartening for those people that, their prayers don't. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing to think about, I guess. But I'm grateful. I am grateful. And I go down and check on my dad every day. Every day I drive down to make sure he's okay, even though my mom's there. But I need to see him with my own eyes. So thank you guys for asking. And, I really appreciate that. You guys rock. Hang on 1 second. I'm checking. I got it. It told me to ask you to send me his email. Yeah, I will do it. I got to find it. I don't have his email off the top of my head. And I got them all written down. I don't save phone numbers and emails in my phone because then I'd be saving a million. So no worries, Wheezy. I sat there, Wheezy stunt woman. I sat there for a second and I was like, did she mean Dogman? Did she mean? Thank you, Tyler. That's so awesome. Thank you. Glenn, I'm sorry for your loss too. Shit. It's disheartening, have beer when. Yes, my dad did have a beer. My Big Jim, so pretend this is a beer. My dad's first beer in 7 months, he goes like this. I thought it tastes better. But thank you, Pops. What's up, cowboy? Send me an email, cowboy. I'd like to hear the whole thing if you don't mind, please. Paul Carey Robinson. Victor's been passed away for God. At least 5 months, maybe 6. That maybe it is a demon samurai. Maybe it is. You're right. Okay, here. I'm gonna give you guys a choice. All right. A sea creature, a dogman, or a malevolent creature. Sea creature, dogman, malevolent creature. Sea creature. All right. Here we go. Sea creature. The sea creature's won. Gravity, no. He's been gone, and I've made the agreement that the book is at the publishers right now. Hi, Belly Button. How are you, baby? Sigmund the sea creature. It's all about Squidward. Squidward. Here we go. I was on a fair. Did I read this one already? I think I read this one, but I'm not sure. I think I did. I'm going to read it again. I don't care. I was on a ferry for school softball trip off of Kodiak Island, Alaska, May of 2014. I was 18. Many of us had snuck up to the deck at around 11 p.m. to watch the waves, smoke ciggies and some weed, and generally being teenagers on the boat without supervision. The sun was about to set, but it was still bright outside. So we are just doing our thing and notice a pod of orcas swimming with the ferry's wake, which is very cool, but not unusual. If you're familiar with the dimensions of an orca fin, you know they are 4 to 6 feet in height and look like a giant black spike coming out of the water. They travel and hunt in pods of anywhere between 15 to 14 or 40 whales. They are apex predators, the beautiful demon murderers of the sea, top of the food chain. So we saw a pod of orcas and counted them to be around 10 to 15, with some babies scattered in there. Very fun to watch. It took them a good 30 minutes to all go by. We tried to get pictures, but it was just dark enough that our phone's cameras didn't work well. Another 30 to 40 minutes go by, and we've all pretty much sobered up, and it's about to get dark. We are cold and sleepy and about ready to go in. No more orcas. Haven't seen one for like a half an hour. And then one of the JV girls spots another one. So we all turn and look. But one dorsal fin is immediately followed by another and another and another, and then two more after that in separate rows. And they are taller, a lot taller and jagged, like some have whole chunks torn out of them. They are at least 10 feet high. And they are attached to one creature. And we can just barely see the back slicing through the water, covered in all these rows of spikes. And it just keeps coming. This thing is like 20 to 30 feet from the ferry, running parallel to it. And we are all transfixed. There's like 9 to 10 of us, and no one is saying a word because we've all turned to look at this whale. And we are now watching something that is like horrifically terrifying and obviously not a whale. Someone tries to take a picture, but it is too dark at that point, and the only reason we can see this thing is the light cast from the ferry portholes. I really wish you had a picture of it, but we all stood there completely scared stiff and in awe, and we just kept watching this thing surfacing for a good 6 to 7 minutes, which means whatever this thing is, it was long, like 60 to 70 feet long or longer, covered in enormous spikes. It took what felt like an eternity for any of us to say anything after the last of it disappeared back into the strait. I mean, if you are like 8 of your friends had just seen this thing, science had definitely pointed to not existence. And you all see the same exact thing. And it was very obvious trailing, hunting, not one, but 15 apex predators. It was definitely hunting the orca. What do you even say to break the silence? That's the thing that eats me about the whole thing. It is hunting. It was following them. It was literally hunting about 60 tons of toothy, angry, intelligent apex predators. Every once in a while, one of us will hit another up and check in. Do you remember that? Was I hallucinating? Did we all see the same insane worldview melting, terrifying thing that night? And the reason I know we did is none of us talked about it after. Not during the trip, not after. Not to any of our friends because of how do you tell someone about that? Now we have almost 10 years between us and that night. I assume some of them have probably told people. I know I tell people because I've seen a lot of strange things in Alaska. Also, there's a very rich history among the natives of something that lives and hunts in the waters around Kodiak. And it's important to tell its story because someday it's going to eat a little too much plastic and no one will ever watch it hunt a pot of orcas again. Aramic, thank you for the donation of 10 members. And Squatch and Grandma Sandy, thank you for the love. I appreciate both of you. I didn't want to stop the narration, so. And do something. Happy birthday to you. Anyway, that was pretty fucking awesome. That thing was huge. So in orcas, fins are 6 feet out of the water. This thing's fin or spike was 10 feet, and there was 30 feet of them. That's incredibly huge, and it's hunting orca. What is it? Absolutely 59th. Maybe. Samurai Sean, maybe. Pacific Rim. Joseph, Godzilla. Haha, yeah, baby. Leviathan. Was it Tronco? Hey, Jeff, when you thinking the book will be released? I honestly don't know. It's in with a publisher right now. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I probably will email them this week sometime to see what's going on. Linman, what's going on, brother? Sounds like my ex when she quit working out, doesn't it? Not your ex, but anyone's ex, right? Minority Reporter, how are you? Yeah, but did she swim in the water and hunt orcas, Larry? Where is Wilburn? Is Wilburn here? Where the fuck is Wilburn? Wilburn! Andre the Giant is just Andre the Giant. He is not Bigfoot. He is just Andre. What did Boom ask? What did I miss? Where did Boom? So hard to miss. I fucking hate when I miss people. No, just tacos. You fucking. Rashawn, how are you? Do something. Thank you. We don't know. Yeah, exactly. We don't know everything that's on our planet. Especially in the ocean. Like they're finding. Actually, I get little things on Gmail or Google when you like look up Google on your phone. When you go to look something up, it gives you like a listing of things, and I get a story like unidentified creature just found, large eyes, this and that, and they're finding all of these new species of animals. It's not like, a fucking monster. But if we are just finding new like lizards and new birds and new species of insects on a daily basis still, like what's in the ocean is absolutely scary. That's why I won't swim in the ocean. Wow, now I don't even want to go kayaking anymore. Wow, thanks guys. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, like what is in the ocean, we don't know. I'm not sure about that selfie that you just mentioned. vertebraker. Not sure how I feel about it. It doesn't look great to me, to be honest with you. That's just my own opinion. Who's on the top of the food chain? I probably something from an alternate dimension, to be honest with you. Hang on a second. I just got to go off camera really quick. Shake these nuts. Shake these nuts. All better. There we go. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, did you guys hear that? I meant to hit mute. I didn't want you guys hear me fucking sing the Shake These Nuts song. I used to spearfish in the ocean and saw lots of sharks. Glenn, you are a crazy person. I would not go in the ocean. I wear a magnetic shark band and ashtrays, make sure. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No, thank you. Nope. I can't outswim anything. I can barely outswim a tadpole. I fucking doggy paddle. I'm like, I look like I got some sort of, I look like I'm missing a couple chromosomes when I swim. Like, I swear to God, I'm like, people are like, what is he doing? Did he leave the group home? Get him back to the group home. That's what I look like when I'm swimming. It is ridiculous. I can paddle like a motherfucker though. Oh, I just saw. I thought it said 6 something at your birthday. I'm sorry. Yes, tomorrow is July 1st. Amazingly, the year is officially half over. Officially, the year is half over. 2024 is half over. Oh my goodness. All right. Malevolent monster. Yeah, I would probably drown in a kiddie pool. No, I'm just teasing. I know how to swim. I don't know how to swim good though. Like, I can swim, but I am not like, what's that fucking Olympic swimmer that smokes the weed? Lil Wayne used to rap about him. What was his name? What's that swimmer? Fuck. Hang on a second. Let's see if Google can tell us. Olympic swimmer that smokes weed. Michael Phelps. Ha ha. Eunice, how are you, dear? Michael Phelps. Yes, yes. You know, Lil Wayne has rapped about probably the most athletes. Michael Phelps, Rajon Rondo, one of the greatest basketball players ever, Rajon Rondo. Jimmer Fredette, who is from my hometown, Jimmer Fredette. I can't wait to get Brad back on. You literally, when Brad shares this experience, and it didn't happen to him, it did not happen to him. I promised that I wouldn't even spill the beans on it because he's kind of apprehensive about it, but he is going to share it. I was like this. Yeah, it is crazy. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. No, Lil Wayne cannot play the guitar. He cannot play the guitar or he can't skateboard. Like, he can't do either or, but he can rap like a motherfucker. Lil Wayne can rap better than freaking Will Smith. I don't know yet. Hopefully this week. I gotta get on the phone with him. Jimmer's in the Olympics this year? No shit. Sweet. I did not know that. Thank you, Vertebraker. That is awesome. Jimmer. Wait, did I say Jimmer? Yeah, Jimmer. Oh, shit. Jimmer Fredette, Olympics 2024. Fuck yeah, buddy. Yes. That's awesome. Jimmer Fredette, his house, his family house is like, you go that way, and then you go that way. And it's about 6 blocks. $20 is $20. He's like, all right, here we go. I am so excited that fucking Jimmer is in. Oh my God, I didn't even know that. Thank you, Vertebraker. Thank you. You have my love for the next 5 minutes. 3-on-3. Yeah, I just read that. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Back in the summer of 2018, I went camping in the Moshannon State Forest with a friend. We had a fire going and we're just chatting, messing with the fire when we hear this very faint sound that distracted me from the conversation. I told my friend, hush up, just for a second, and we both listened closely. We could hear a woman singing in the distance what sounded like a really old medieval melody. We couldn't make out what it was because she was singing in another language. We were far away from any other campsite, as we like to camp in our own spots away from anything that could potentially have other people. It really creeped us out. But what made it freaky was that I ended up posting pictures of our camp on Facebook, and another person recognized the location and asked if I heard anything weird. I said, "Why do you ask?" He went on to explain how he and his friends were at a near campsite on a different night, and one of their dogs, and they heard a woman crying as she was coming down the road, passing the other site. They decided to check on her and see if she was all right, but when they got to the road and called out to her, there was no response, and the crying immediately stopped. They thought it was strange, but decided to head back to camp. When they got back, they found their dog convulsing by the fire and foaming at the mouth. They grabbed him, got in the car, and hightailed it to the vet. He said the dog went limp in his arms on the way. He thought he had died, but once they reached the highway outside of the forest, the dog woke up immediately and acted like nothing happened. They assumed there is something evil in that area. When he was telling me this experience, I turned white as a ghost. And once he finished, I explained what my friend and I heard that night. It really freaked me out because the guy with the dog ended up going with me later and showed me exactly where it went down, exactly where I was that night where we heard that singing. Woo! Chile. Lil Wayne cannot skate. Lil Wayne cannot skate. I can skate better than Wayne. I could skate better than Wayne when I was 14, when I was skating with shot skateboards. Lil Wayne cannot skate. Oh, yeah. Samurai Sean, I've been thinking this shit's connected for a while now. Like, I really didn't think it was connected for a long time. But the more and more that I researched, the more I think it is connected. I think that somehow, some way, it is all like just connected. Is Dogman a man-made engineered werewolf? No. Dogman has been historically written about for centuries. The Anunnaki, the Sumerians wrote about a dog-headed race of aliens, whether it be from outer space or dimensional, that was in existence thousands of years. Wretched One, how are you? No, definitely not, Arabic. But I can skate still. At 48 years old, I can skate still. Actually, I just got an 8th Street skate deck the other day to skate. Oh. What's up, Rihanna? How are you? Skate or die. That was a great game. Oh, okay. That all. What's that mean, Truth Quest? Gigi, I fucking still listen to Gigi. Actually, I turned Jane and her brother on to Gigi Allen this week. What's up, Carla? How are you? Be safe, Rihanna. Please drive safe. Lily Lewis, how are you, dear? What's up, Juno? Juno, you know. Oh, yeah, exactly, Hog or Hogue. Exactly. But no, someone made the comment like he couldn't play guitar. Because like in that one song, it's what's that other guy's name? There's that white guy that's part of Cash Money or was part of Cash Money. Guitar player in Cash Money. Search. Cash Money song, I Made It. Kevin Rudolph. Kevin Rudolph plays guitar on all those songs that Lil Wayne claims he plays, but he can skate better than he can play guitar. All right. This is scary. I'm scared. I work on oil rigs. I have since I was 20. I'm 33 now. In 2007, I was working for Nomic Drilling. They have since sold out to Patterson. And we were drilling in Hinesville area for some natural gas. Anyone who works on rigs knows that the work can take you way off the beaten path from normal civilization. Some places you're on ranch roads for an hour before you reach a location. In others, you're driving on roads canopied by trees in the backwoods of Louisiana. This happened to me in the latter. We were rigging down after finishing a well, and we were on our last night of a 7-day hitch. About halfway through our 12-hour tour, we had pretty much finished, and we were making sure everything was tied down securely for the rig move. We killed the light plants, and the driller let us knock off early. This area was accessible outside of Houghton, Louisiana, and the lease was actually on the back of Barksdale Air Force Base. But we had to leave the way we came in. Driving home at 2 a.m. seemed pretty normal at first, and I made it to the blacktop with no issues. The blacktop was still canopied by trees, And other than the lights from my truck, everything was pitch black. Out of nowhere, still basically in the middle of nowhere, this thing appears almost close enough to get hit by my driver's side. Okay, weird, but even more strange. It was leaning at what I swear an impossible angle for something to not tip over. It was stretched, reaching out toward my truck, and what I could see of its face was morbid and twisted. The hairs on the back of my neck are raised. I gasped the pedal and got back to closer and to get back to society closer. Whatever. It was about a 2-hour drive home, and I felt off the rest of the trip. More oddly, I was working over on a separate occasion with one of the crews that work when I'm home, and another hand was talking about a very similar, almost identical experience. I don't know who or what it was that I saw. And the face, it could have been a blur from a relative distance and speed, and the time I actually saw it. But who is out that late and out in the middle of nowhere? If someone broke down, I could see them trying to flag me down, but I did not see a vehicle anywhere on the road that night. I still don't know what it is I saw. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Welcome to the live stream, Debbie. Wheezy, yes. This is per Victor, yes. Some are chipped. There are creepypasta channels out there that say, like, they'll make up these crazy stories that the military, I'm a military contractor and I hunt the Dogman and this and that. Those, there are fake ones out there. But there are certain groups of military, very obscure teams that are seldom even seen that hunt these things. There was a case of a woman who was kidnapped by Somali pirates. And while kidnapped, she's at the bottom of this boat. She's in the boat. She's blindfolded. And she hears automatic gunfire, a bunch of automatic gunfire, running, growling, and a bunch of violence. And then she's rescued by a certain naval team and pulled out. Some people may say, what was that growling? I do. What was that growling? It sounded like a monster, she said. And in a video that I uploaded today, Tom Horn, who has since passed, which is a huge loss, talks about the government using werewolves as a weapon of war. Jeremiah, I want to hear your experience, please. Jeremiah Israel, please send me your experience. Guys, I need 1 second to get a soda. 2 seconds. Actually, you know what? I'll just get a water. I didn't have to run to out there to get I just got a water. I didn't want water. I wanted another Coke. But now I got to drink the water. I fucking hate water. Interesting experience. Interesting experience. I'm trying to grow my hair like that guy from Ancient Aliens. That'd be so fucking cool.
Back in the day, we had these things that
All right. This is actually really fucked up. This happened in the summer of 1967 near Veracruz, Mexico. This is where I was born. One evening, when we came back to our neighborhood, one of the neighbors told my mom that she had lost her baby boy and that it was the third tragedy around the colony within a month. I recalled my mom telling my dad that night that she was very scared and wanted us to move as soon as possible. My dad told her that we would. When she was done talking to him, she called me and my brother and gave us instructions not to go outside after dark, no matter what. 2 nights later, we're celebrating my brother's birthday. And after the celebration, my mom cleaned the house and put us to sleep. Sometime that night, I woke up to get a drink of water and noticed that it was really bright inside the kitchen because of the moonlight, and very bright coming through the window above the kitchen sink. I was too small to get a cup from the cupboard, so I pulled a chair from our dining room table and put it in front of the sink. At that moment, I happened to look into the neighbor's house across from our home and noticed that there was someone or something very big in front of their door, and it seemed to be holding something. When I got closer to the window to see what it was holding, I realized that whatever this was standing there was taller than the door. It had pointed ears and had no clothing on. When I say ears, or when I saw the ears, I jumped and the chair made a loud noise. This thing turned and looked at me. I saw its face. It looked like a freaking police dog with bright red eyes on 2 legs, and it was holding what I thought was a baby. I jumped off the chair and ran to the room to my baby brother's bed, and I held him that entire night. I was so scared. I thought that whatever I saw was going to come through the door and take us. The next morning, we went to church, and our neighbor told my parents that her friend across from our home lost their child the night before, and nobody knew what happened. When I heard that, I started crying. My mom asked me what was wrong, and I told her what I saw. She told me that we would be moving soon and never to tell anyone about what I saw. I still haven't to this day until now. You know what? I will figure out a way of I will ask somebody that I know that's really good with computers if there would be a way of all maybe doing a group Zoom, like our live stream, and have, like, 280 little boxes, or whoever wanted to be. There's got to be a way. We'll figure it out. And that will be our meet and greet. I'd much rather do like a real meet and greet, like not like a convention where people charge money to hear these fucking
I'm an expert. Listen to me speak. Pay me $20 to come in, buy my book, look at my expertness.
I think it would be cool if we just had like a meet and greet at like a park and fucking shot the shit. Maybe played some kickball, fucking drank a bunch of Coca-Colas, told some Dogman stories, some Black Eyed Kid stories, and everybody went home with a full wallet. That's it. That's the way I think meet and greets should be. I think meet and greets are exploiting the people that I don't even know. I just think it's an exploitation in my eyes. They overcharge for their books, especially at the meet and greets. They think they're worth fucking $800 to meet them for some reason when they're just like you and I. You know,
I wrote a book. I'm fucking famous. Google my name. It's on the internet. I hunt Dogman. I suck Bigfoot's balls. I'm super famous.
they're fucking assholes. Yes, sir. Sorry about that little freak outfit there. People left. 8 people left during that. They're like, fuck him. We go to those. We love our meet and greets. Fucking Dogman OnlyFans. You're right, Shari.
Do you guys see me on the Discovery Channel?
The fucking chodes. They're all a bunch of little chode monkeys. All right. Fuck. Oh, Lord. All right. It's hotter than shit in here. That's exactly what, that'd be cool, right? You know, just hang out, fucking by the river or something. Get a big bucket of ice, put a bunch of sodas in there, tell some Dogman stories, some black-eyed kid stories, play some kickball. Fucking A, kickball's awesome. Kickball. Dude, I love kickball. I play kickball all day long. Some frisbee hacky sack for those people that still have a hip. What's up, Chrissy? How are you? I know if I played hacky sack, my fucking inner fucking hip would break. I'd be like, oh God, oh. My nuts would fall out. I'm feeling good, Tim. I'm feeling good. And then we could get some lot lizards and we could fucking kick them with the kickball. Yeah, John, exactly. Just people just shooting the shit because nobody's an expert, you know? Like Paul Carey, Tyler Steven, 59th, fucking Liz Sisney, Tommy, we're all like the same people. We all have the same ideas. Maybe it's just a little different, but it doesn't make any of us an expert. It doesn't make, you know, just because some guy goes in the woods and puts his camera backwards makes him an expert. And I'm not insulting the person, but like we all have something to offer this community. We all do. We are all equal. I believe that wholeheartedly. That, like, you know, I learn more from you guys than you guys probably learned from me. And I thank you for that. So, my husband and I had a weird encounter with what I believe to be a black-eyed kid this past winter. It was the day after Christmas, and we decided to get out of the house and take a walk. We enjoy walking the trails at Cohen's Gap State Park here in Fulton, Colorado, or Fulton County, PA. I saw CO, so I thought Colorado. It wasn't too cold, so we decided to take a short drive to the park. The park was void of people in the winter, unless there's snow for skiers or ice skating on the lake. But we were alone, at least we thought we were alone. We're walking on the trail that passes several rental cabins. After a while, we took a short break and sat down at a picnic table located in the cabin pavilion. We were discussing how quiet it was when I noticed 4 kids walking towards us. As they approached, I noticed their eyes, especially the taller and older boy. He had very dark, large irises. There were, I believe, 2 boys and 2 girls of various ages. All 4 were wearing light jackets. Skip the ads. When they reached us, the older boy asked, "Do you live here?" My husband answered, "No, it's a rental cabin." There was no reaction. One of the girls, who was very pale, reached into her jacket pocket and pulled out a pack of cigarettes and lit one up. The girl was no older than 10 years old. My husband asked her, "Aren't you a little young to smoke?" The girl looked at him, and I swear her eyes got darker and larger. She gave him a scowl that he and I will remember forever. It was so vile and foreboding. I was immediately scared. Then they turned on a dime together and started to walk away. I was speechless and shaking. My husband said, "Let's go." We briskly walked in the opposite direction towards our car. I was still frightened and wanted to get straight home. We pulled out onto the road and headed east toward home, which is about a half a mile or so from the park. A few days later, we were driving to Chambersburg to do some shopping. We needed to first stop at the post office in Fort Loudon to mail a few packages. My husband walked into the post office while I sat in the car. After a few minutes, I noticed the 4 same kids walking through the post office parking lot. Just seeing them sent chills up and down my spine. When my husband returned to the car, I told him what happened and said I want to go home immediately. Since that time, I have suffered terrible episodes of anxiety and fear. My doctor has prescribed me medication, but I still have panic attacks that I will encounter those kids again. Simone, have a good night, dear. Thank you for joining us. Rockin' steady. I'm coming to your house for dinner tomorrow night, all right? What's up, crazy backyard chicken man? Sonia, you're back with us. I didn't even see you back. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you. How was your thunderstorms? I love to fall asleep with a smile on my face, too. I try to every night. Hey, Rita, how are you? No, that's not true, Amber. I'm not blind. It was horrible. Well, I'm glad that you're with us. Your power is still out. No shit. I am so sorry. Whew. Yeah, she was just trying to scare him. Like, they say that you'll go blind and your hands will grow hair on them. That doesn't happen. Not yet. And I'm 48. What the fuck is wrong with me? Oh, Lord. Lordy, Jeffrey. Found that I can charge my phone with my car charger. I'm glad that you're safe, though. There's no tornadoes or anything, right? Sandra, have a good night. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Puma Pete, I put Nair on my hands earlier today. All right, Tim, it's just a regular tobacco Juul. I actually got scammed for $242 last month because I sent money to this idiot that said he was going to send me mango pods, and I got excited and they robbed me. So if anyone knows where to get Juul mango pods, email me. I will pay you and send them to me. I will pay you first. Just don't rob me like the guy from fucking Europe did, because it really hurt bad. I was so mad, dude. It still says processing. It was my fault. I was dumb. I shouldn't have done it. Aramek, have a good night, my friend. I will have a Mothman encounter for you next week, Aramek. Promise you. I pay for orange cola vape juice. I can get vape juice. I just smoke Juul. I can't smoke like anything else except Juul. No, you can't find them online. There's a place in New York called Price Point, and they used to have Ukraine Juul pods. Um, and I actually paid like $50 for a 4-pack once a long time ago, just so I could have them. But I can't find them anywhere. I swear, if anyone finds me mango Juul pods, real mango Juul pods, 4-pack, 5%, I will send you a picture of my toes and as much money as you want. My big toe, too, and my little toe. Thank you, Rock and Steady. I appreciate that. All right, here we go, kids. When my wife was younger, she had a therapist that she saw regularly. He had formerly worked as a physician in the United States Navy. He was also an officiant and ended up marrying me and my wife years later. Anyway, he told her of a time that he encountered what he described as a dogman. This was the first time I had ever heard of them, and this is what got me interested in investigating more cases of encounters. I don't have all the specifics on where exactly it occurred, but it was a heavily wooded area somewhere in North Georgia. He and his wife had gone to a 2-story cabin far out in the woods to vacation for a couple of nights. They were far from the nearest town, and there were no other buildings nearby. So what he told us is that he and his wife woke from a sleep at night, feeling an intense feeling of dread. They made their way to the stairs and down to the first level. And when they looked out the window, they saw a creature staring back at them. It appeared to be a bipedal canine. It was on its hind legs and walking as if it was its normal gait. He said that the head was a human/canine cross with very sparse hair. It did not have a tail. It was snarling, which he could hear from inside the cabin. I know that they weren't harmed, but they were definitely spooked and felt intense dread. I wish there was more details, but that is as much as I know. What's up, Orphan Andy? How are you? Sorry I missed you. I don't have the details, SG. That was the experience. Hang on 1 second. Just checking something. Oh. Hang on a second. I'm responding to something. reptilians every day. Oh. A couple, Claire. A couple. Periodically, I see stuff out through too. All right, I'm going to do one more encounter, and then I'm going to end the night. At the end. Okay, here we go. Last encounter of the night, kids. Around 6 p.m., my friend and her cousin cleaned and trimmed the excess leaves and branches along a path to their laundry area. At 9 p.m., a thunderstorm occurred, and she ran outside to make sure the front gate was locked and there was no laundry on the line. As my friend was heading to the front gate, she glanced over at the laundry area and checked on it. That's when she saw him. She said it was about 4 or 5 feet away from this little boy who was 15 years old. He was wearing a long baggy shirt and shorts, dark gray in color. He was just standing at the end of the small gate leading to the laundry room, with his hands at his side, staring at her. This took a few seconds. This is the Philippines experience, by the way. This took a few seconds until she made it to the front gate and checked that it was locked. She immediately turned around and headed back. The boy was gone. She got goosebumps and ran quickly into the house. I thought at first she had seen a neighborhood kid up to mischief and joking, and asked if his eyes were black, and she said yes. Thinking she thought I met his pupils and iris, I looked pictures up of the black-eyed kids, and I showed her. Yes, just like that, she said. The skeptical part of me wants to say it was her imagination, but she didn't know what black-eyed kids were until I mentioned them to her, which was after she described what she saw. So maybe it was a neighborhood kid trying to scare her. Full black-eyed contacts are available in the Philippines, but are they easily accessible to teenagers in the Philippines? Was it really a black-eyed kid, or was it a ghost that was checking out the freshly cleaned, trimmed path? Whatever it was, it made my friend terrified and made me overcome my skepticism. I really like playing games, especially MMORPG. I'll always stay up till 3 a.m. All that changed. I heard stories going around the neighborhood about an old lady with black eyes wanting to come into their house. There were about 4 or 5 experiences because fear they never answer the old lady. Then after a few weeks is a man with black eyes. I don't know if I should believe it or not. I was 17 years old back then. And most of my male neighbors also don't believe it. They even pull a prank and put a candle at a turtle's back at night and claim a gnome tried to scare the kids. I was playing Dreamland online on Facebook, and then at 3 a.m. I suddenly heard something and ignored it until I heard it again, and this time it was clearer. It said, Bata Asan ka, Tabaka ba, It basically asked a certain kid where he is and if he wants shit. It kept saying it over and over again. There wouldn't be any kids outside at 3 a.m. It was very dark and scary. That's when I got curious and looked outside. There was only one kid there. I haven't seen him before. He looked at me and his eyes were like marbles, big black marbles. And he said, "Taka, ta." If it wasn't so sorry, I would be laughing because basically he asked if I wanted to shit. He started coming towards me at my window and kept saying, "Tata ka ta," which means, "Do you want to shit?" So I ran and got a metal rod that was about 5 feet in length, and I was ready to take him out if he got near my house. I was actually good in using it, so I took it instead of a knife. Oddly enough, he didn't break through or pass through my window like I expected him to. I decided to wake up my mom because I was really scared, but then he walked away. I dropped to my knees. My body was still shaking. I didn't sleep that night at all. Why would a black-eyed kid be asking, "Do you want to take a shit?" Like, is that what they do in the Philippines? You got to poop? Got to poop? Ha Claire, thank you. I'm glad that you hung out with us tonight. Thank you so much. Oh. All right, guys. I want to thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. I truly, truly appreciate it. I really had a really great night. I all right. Okay, so Pups, Stacy, Spacey, Glenn, Truth Quest. Oh my God, look at Truth Quest. Thanks, Jeffy Night All with the flower and that thing. Doesn't that star remind you of it's 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.? Do you know where your kids are? All right, guys, I really appreciate all of your support. I want to thank you all. Like I literally look forward to Saturday nights to spend the nights with you guys. And I honestly am exhausted Saturday. So like it just makes me happy to hang out with you guys. So with that, I don't know. I might hang on one second. Let me check something. I may pop online on the 4th of July, maybe at 8 o'clock at night to say hi to everybody, tell a couple stories, and to wish you guys a happy 4th. So keep an eye out for a notification because I might at like 8 o'clock, just for like a half an hour to 45 minutes, pop on, wish you guys a happy 4th, tell a couple experiences, and then bounce. Go watch some fireworks with my daughter, but just to say happy 4th with you guys. So, all right. I love you guys. Thank you once again for making my Saturday night special. And peace.